Hello and welcome to the Twin Flame Psychology series, episode 5. Today we're talking about the psychology of the runner-chaser dynamic. In many twin flame relationships, people would often describe something called the runner-chaser dynamic. It's when one person seems to pull away and the other feels an intense need to reconnect. So there's like a push-pull dynamic going on. And this pattern can repeat again and again. From the outside, it can sometimes look like one person simply cares more than the other. But psychologically, the situation is often more complex than that. Because the runner-chaser dynamic is rarely about one person loving more. Very often, it's about how two different nervous systems respond to emotional intensity. In this video, we're going to explore the psychology behind the runner-chaser pattern. We'll look at anxious and avoidant attachment styles, the push-pull cycles that can develop in relationships, and how differences in emotional regulation can create misunderstandings between two people who may both care very deeply. Because when we understand the patterns behind these dynamics, we can begin to see them with more clarity and sometimes with more compassion. One of the most helpful ways to understand the runner-chaser dynamic comes from what is known in psychology as the attachment theory. Attachment styles describe how people tend to respond to closeness and emotional connection. People with anxious attachment often feel deeply invested in relationships. They value emotional closeness and may become quite sensitive to signs of distance or withdrawal. When they feel the connection is changing, their instinct is often to move closer. They have this need to talk, to reconnect, and to seek reassurance. But on the other side, people with avoidant attachment often value connection as well, but their emotions, or rather, should I say, when their emotions become very intense, they feel this need to distance themselves because they begin to feel overwhelmed. And so their instinct is not to move closer. They create space so that they can regain a sense of emotional balance. And neither of these responses is wrong. They are just simply different ways the nervous system has learned to manage emotional closeness. When these two patterns meet in a relationship, though, we get a push-pull cycle, and it can sometimes be very difficult. One person seeks reassurance and closeness, but the other one starts to feel pressured or overwhelmed, and so they step back. But the distance can increase anxiety for the partner who's actually seeking that connection, which then can lead them to reach out even more strongly. And of course, this unintentionally creates a cycle where both people feel misunderstood. The one who is reaching out may feel abandoned, and the person who's stepping back may feel emotionally flooded. And at this point, each person is trying to regulate their feelings, but their strategies are moving in opposite directions. At its core, the runner-chaser dynamic is often about emotional regulation. Different people calm their nervous systems in different ways. And some people regulate emotions through connection and communication, and others instead regulate through solitude and distance. So when two people with different regulation styles experience this intense connection, those differences become amplified. One seeks closeness to feel safe, and the other seeks space to feel calm. And of course, without understanding this difference, both people can begin to interpret the situation in a very painful way. One may believe that they're being rejected, and the other believes that they're being overwhelmed. One of the most helpful insights, probably, about the runner-chaser dynamic is realizing that both people are usually reacting to emotional intensity just in their own way. The person seeking connection is responding to feelings of distance. The person creating the space is responding to feelings of overwhelm. But both nervous systems are trying to restore balance, just in a different way. Understanding this doesn't remove the emotional difficulty of the experience, but it can help shift the story from blame to awareness. And that awareness can open the door to a healthier emotional regulation and deeper personal understanding. If you recognize yourself in the runner-chaser dynamic, then please remember this. These patterns are not permanent identities. They're simply ways the nervous system learned to cope with emotional closeness. And with awareness, patience, and self-understanding, those patterns can slowly begin to change. If you're going through the twin flame separation, please remember to be gentle with yourself. I've been where you are. I fully understand. And it is with that in mind that I created the Twin Flame Reset Bundle if you need a little extra support. It's designed to calm the nervous system and bring the focus back to yourself. You'll find the link in the description below. And if you're curious to understand deeper psychology, then please do have a look at the V2V method where I explain emotional patterns. Until next time, take care of yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.